The recent ceremony for the third temple has just happened. The reconstruction of this historic and immensely significant landmark has taken an enormous advance forward, sending shockwaves across faith communities around the world. Join us as we unravel the complexity, debates, and deeply held beliefs that surround this historic declaration. In the archives of history, a largely overlooked chapter reveals a surprising twist in the tale of the Jewish people's connection to the temple in Jerusalem. Amidst the observance of Tisha B'Av, a solemn day of mourning commemorating the destruction of the two temples, the desire for a third temple is fervently expressed by Jews worldwide. However, history tells a tale of a moment when permission was granted to construct this very edifice, a tale woven with complexity, religious dynamics, and shifting alliances. Dr. Yonatan Moss, a scholar with a deep understanding of the subject, guides us through this intriguing saga. It was on a day in history, July 19, 362 CE, that the Roman Emperor Julian made his way to the city of Antioch, modern-day southern Turkey. Remarkably, amidst a military campaign against the Persians, Julian found time to engage with Jewish community leaders residing within the city. His inquiry resonates with curiosity. Why were these Jews not performing sacrifices as their ancestors had done? The response was rooted in history. Their temple had been reduced to ruins. The emperor, in a moment of historical significance, extended permission for the Jewish community to rebuild the temple and reinitiate sacrificial offerings. But why, one might wonder, would a Roman emperor advocate for the resurrection of a Jewish temple? The answer lies in Julian's personal history. Born in 331 CE, he witnessed the Roman Empire's transformation from persecuting Christianity to embracing and favoring it. Julian himself, though initially raised within a Christian framework, embarked on a journey to rediscover the traditional Roman religion of his forebears. This exploration led him to a desire to reinstate ancient practices, particularly the act of animal sacrifices, which had been central to the Roman religious tradition but had waned with the ascendancy of Christianity. However, the Jewish perspective on this matter was intricate. Jews had adapted to a religious life devoid of animal sacrifices for nearly 3 centuries, a stark contrast to Christianity's continued liturgical emphasis on sacrifices. Christianity's religious language maintained the concept of sacrifice even as it abandoned the act itself. This contrast forms the backdrop against which the emperor's unprecedented decree unfolded. The historical relationship between Judaism and Christianity takes center stage in understanding this event. Traditionally, the prevailing viewpoint depicted Christianity as a branch stemming from the Jewish tree. However, recent scholarship has proposed an alternative historical model, suggesting that the divergence between Rabbinic Judaism and Christianity was more profound. In this analogy, the Y shape illustrates Judaism and Christianity as separate branches, evolving differently after the destruction of the Second Temple and the failed Bar Kokhba revolt. Intriguingly, while the Jewish community held mixed reactions to Julian's initiative, their sages, known as Hazal, appeared to overlook this monumental event. The Talmudic institution maintained a silence around the matter, with only 2 cryptic references attributed to Rabbi Aha found in the Yerushalmi Talmud. One suggestion hinted at the potential rebuilding of the temple before the restoration of the Davidic line, while another indicated a prospective reconstruction during the Shemitah year of 363 to 362 CE. The Roman city of Aelia Capitolina, established in Jerusalem by pagan Romans decades after the destruction of the temple, further contextualizes the historical dynamics. The Temple of Jupiter, where pagan sacrifices were performed, was erected at the city's heart. With the shift in favor of Christianity in the early 4th century under Emperor Constantine, Christianity gained acceptance in the Roman Empire. Yet Julian the Apostate's ascendancy to power in 361 CE marked a reverse in this trend. He aimed to restore the Roman pagan traditions and sought to elevate the Jewish temple once more. While Julian's motivations are multifaceted, a letter penned to the Jewish community attests to his religious and social aims. He expressed a desire to rebuild the holy city of Jerusalem to honor the Most High God. Christian sources of the era offer a divergent view, suggesting Julian's intention to challenge Christian prophecies and demonstrate the Jews' return to their land. This perspective aimed to showcase the revival of live animal sacrifices, thus emphasizing the difference in sacrificial traditions between Christianity and Judaism. Yet despite this unprecedented turn of events, the initiative to rebuild the temple was abruptly halted by natural phenomena. An earthquake, alongside a documented fire, stalled the construction. For some, these events were interpreted as signs, and the work came to an end. Interestingly, Hazal's silence about these events in their Talmudic literature implies a complex shift in their priorities. It seems that the sages preferred to emphasize the authority of Torah study and interpretation over the physical reconstruction of the temple. This historical juncture reflects a profound evolution in religious thought. Hazal's shift away from the sacrificial model can be attributed to centuries of internal conflicts among Jewish sects and the trauma following the temple's destruction. The focus turned towards interpreting Torah and offering alternatives to sacrificial practices. The temple's significance persisted, yet its physical resurrection ceased to be a central concern. According to Messianic Bible, the significance holds something else for the Israelis. As the world observes, Israel's priests worked tirelessly to build the third temple, despite hurdles and obstacles that span time and faiths. The echoes of Hebrew prophets reverberate throughout history, echoing with the promise of the temple's restoration. In his moving announcement, Ezekiel says, "Then the nations will know that I, the Lord, make Israel holy when my sanctuary is among them forever." This prophecy rings out as a ray of hope, announcing the return of Israel's exiles to the Promised Land and the eventual rebuilding of the sacred temple. Contrary to what skeptics allege, the divine narrative never means for Israel to be rejected. We can see the eternal bond between God and His chosen people in Isaiah's resounding declaration, "You, Israel, my servant, Jacob whom I have chosen. I have taken from the ends of the earth and called from its remotest parts, and said to you, You are my servant. I have chosen you and not rejected you." This prophecy is being fulfilled in the current period as the Jewish diaspora returns to the Holy Land from every corner of the globe, directed by the divine hand. In essence, the Third Temple represents more than a physical edifice. It represents God's residence among His people. The instruction to build the sanctuary in Exodus echoes with divine purpose. "Let them construct a sanctuary for me, that I may dwell shaken among them." This sacred dwelling, or shakan, is intricately woven into the word Shekinah, signifying the divine presence. This presence is intended to be rekindled through the Third Temple, re-establishing an intimate relationship between the Creator and His creation. The Third Temple's significance is not limited to the Jewish people. It reverberates across the annals of prophecy. Along with the New Testament, the book of Daniel describes the temple's role in the end times. Both Daniel and Yeshua revealed an unsettling truth: the anti-Messiah's desecration of the Third Temple. This contamination, known as the Abomination of Desolation, sets the stage for a cataclysmic clash of spiritual forces. This institution, located at a short distance from the Western Wall, stands as a light of determination. The Institute's director, Chaim Richman, reveals how a temple in waiting has already taken shape. The Institute has constructed over 60 precious temple vessels with rigorous research and unshakable dedication, a testament to the meticulous planning for a rebuilt temple. The high priest's breastplate, which is adorned with 12 precious stones representing Israel's tribes, as well as the musical instruments of the Levitical choir, have been painstakingly restored. Furthermore, the Institute has methodically prepared the priestly clothes, which will be worn by a new generation of Levitical priests, or Kohanim, who are undergoing rigorous training. The title of Kohen is only given to those who can trace their ancestors back to Aaron, Moses' brother, and these devoted individuals pass on their forefathers' history with tremendous regard. Torat Kohanim, a yeshiva dedicated to teaching Levites for service in a reconstructed temple, was founded almost a century ago by Jerusalem's Chief Rabbi Kook. The echoes of his ambitious undertaking are still audible, and the call to restore the temple is greater than ever. Participation in temple sacrifices was part of Rabbi Kook's training, which mirrored the rites of the First and Second Temples. His recognition of the unlikely becoming probable via divine providence indicates a deep conviction that the Jewish return to their homeland cleared the way for the temple's revival. The Temple Institute's relationship with the Third Temple Academy is evidence of this steadfast dedication. This field school, located in the highlands of Mizpeh Jericho, prepares Kohanim and Levites for the responsibilities that await them. Their efforts include creating an altar out of uncut stones, in accordance with an old commandment to avoid using metal instruments. The academy immerses priestly students in hands-on experiences that resonate with ancient traditions by constructing a duplicate of the temple. On a spectacular and moving occasion, Kohanim in training successfully reenacted the Korban Pesach, the Passover offering, after a 2,000-year gap. This historic occasion was the result of decades of diligent investigation and planning. The reenactment, which featured white-clad Kohanim holding sacred vessels, took the faithful back in time, pouring new life into an age-old custom. However, obstacles stand in the way of the temple's reconstruction. The search for a ritually pure red heifer, a necessary component of cleansing, continues unabated. The Temple Institute's revolutionary red heifer breeding program is working hard to tackle this difficulty, exhibiting an unwavering will to overcome even the most difficult obstacles. The cornerstone, which represents stability and foundation, has been meticulously prepared by a group known as the Temple Mount Faithful. These hard-working individuals created 6-ton cornerstones that were consecrated with water from the biblical pool of Siloam. The desire to place these stones on the Temple Mount, however, has been greeted with opposition, as the Dome of the Rock currently occupies the historic site. As the rest of the world watches, Israel's priests are getting ready for the Third Temple. They are driven by an unbreakable spirit and a strong link to their spiritual past. Even though the problems are big and the hurdles are big, the way these people keep going shows how powerful faith is and how strong the human spirit is. Even though history, faith, and geopolitics are all very complicated, the search for a sacred vision continues. This vision shines a light on the way to a future that bridges the gap between the ancient past and the limitless possibilities of the future. That's all for today. Don't miss out on the latest updates about world prophecies. Hit that subscribe button and ring the notification bell so you never miss a moment of our thrilling exploration, and share this video with your friends and fellow enthusiasts. Stay tuned until next time.